Well, hi everybody. This is DearMamaSal with a slightly different view today because I am about to do some cooking. Now, I just want to let you know that this is going to be a slightly strange angle. And before I start anything, let me put on the apron that Pat very kindly made for me, my DearMamaSal cooking garb, and let me change the angle of the camera. I thought I'd just show you because let me see if I can do this. This is the cupboard I normally have the computer in, and that is the worktop that you see me working on. But today we're going to be working, let me just try and get this level for you. We're going to be working with my crepe maker. So I just want to just bear with me because I need to. Hi, Jody. Hi, Rinsky. Good to see you. Yeah, it sounds like fun, doesn't it? Yeah, I just want to get this up on at least one other device so I can read comments because I don't think I'm going to be able to read them from here easily. Just bear with me 1 second and we'll be geo for go. Any minute now. Or not, depending on how it all works. I had it all beautifully set up and then I realized something else. Don't worry about it. We'll do it the other way. All right, so is this inverted for you or can you see it the right way? Hi, Emil, good to see you. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making some crepes, and this is what you're going to need. All right, you're going to need an egg. You're going to need either a cup of milk, or in my case, I'm going to be using half a cup of skim milk powder and a cup of milk. You're going to need the egg. You're going to need some flour, which I've got behind here, and then obviously some lemon and butter if you like that, but I'm also going to do a raspberry crepe as well so that you guys can see how that works. You're going to need a spatula to move the crepe off the pan, and I am going to turn it on. It's a good idea, isn't it? For those of you who want to know, this crepe maker is called a Cucina Pro, and I will put up a link to it so if any of you want to find out more about it, but it really is the coolest thing. All right, I've also got lemon and butter, you know about that. So first thing we're going to do is find the flour. Oh yeah. I knew this was going to be a fascinating. Yeah, Cucina Pro. Thank you, Jody. That's very kind of you. All right, so here we go. We're going to have, while that's warming up, we're going to take 1 cup of flour, half a cup of milk powder. Now, you can use regular milk if you like. I just find that this makes a better crepe. Cup of water and 1 egg. Now, that's pretty darn easy, isn't it? And then I'm about to make a noise, so be aware, people. Are you ready? Close your ears. Oh, maybe. There we go. And there we go. So that's the batter. Really simple. Nothing too complicated about that. I'm going to put that there. Just going to rinse that off. Okay. That's quite an unusual look for my kitchen, isn't it? Right, the next thing. Here's my tip for the day. I really... oh, thanks, Amel. I've got a slice of butter in a paper towel, and I keep it like this because it's just perfect for putting butter on a surface, but not using too much butter. And you can probably see that. Okay, now I've got to make sure I don't try and pour my coffee instead of the batter. Let's clear some space here. We might need this again. Okay, so now then, really simple. The other thing I've got is a spreader. Now, this requires talent that I don't have, people. Are you ready for this? All right, so all you do literally is you just put some batter onto your surface like this. And as you can see, the spreader requires some talent. I'm working on it. There we go. And then you immediately put it in water so it's nice and clean for the next crepe. Now, any questions so far? Because one of the things that I thought you would like to see is just how ridiculously easy this is. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to demonstrate a regular crepe. Then I'm going to do a raspberry crepe. And then I'm going to show you how this thing does an omelette, if you would be interested in seeing that. Because, you know, I found that this is really nice to use as a griddle. I've done bacon and eggs on it and all sorts of things, but it's just very versatile. For, various things. So, as I said, I got this set at about 2.5 out of 5. What time is lunch, Jody? Any time you get here, honey. Now, you can probably see the steam coming up from there now. Isn't it exciting? So, and I don't know if you can see it, but the edges are beginning to lift, which means that it's cooking quite well underneath. So all I'm going to do is put my spatula underneath and turn it over. So difficult. So difficult. Hi to Rinsky's cat. Hi, Sam. Good to see you. All right. So now the second side takes a little longer to cook. Never quite sure why that is. So in the meantime, we'll get a plate ready. And while we're waiting for it to cook, let me wish everybody, for those who are in Canada, happy Canada Day for a couple of days ago, and happy 4th of July for the rest of the people in the States, and just happy Friday for anybody else. Right. So, actually, there are some more things. Let me find out. I think I found out some more things about today. Just bear with me a second while I find out. Yeah, it's actually did you know it's, I don't know if you knew this, but it's National Fried Clam Day. And also it's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday to my sister. All right, so here we go. And then all you do is just chip the bottom. It looks like it's doing quite well. And we're going to turn it over one more time just to get this side nice and warm before we roll it. Beautiful browning on the crepe. I know it makes the most beautiful crepes, really. And Jody, when you see the omelette, you're just going to go, wow, no wonder. Okay, so now, there we go. Happy birthday to Sal's sister. Her name's, I better not use her name. Right, she doesn't like that too much. Okay, so now, was that nice and easy or what? Okay, and then what I'm going to do is transfer it here. And what I'm going to do is just put some more butter on there. You see how easy it is if you just have some butter in a paper towel? It just makes it so easy. And then I'm just going to do the next one. Get that ready to go. I could probably have a bit more batter on that one. That quantity of mixture that I gave you does 3 nicely. Yeah. Okay, now then, on here, I've got a mixture here of stevia and a little brown sugar. That's my treat. By the way, crepes were my comfort food growing up, and that's why I love to cook them. A little bit of lemon juice. Now, this is just how I grew up eating crepes, so if you grew up eating them a different way, do it your own way. And what I'm going to do in a second is show you a fruit-filled one. So then I'm just going to roll that up like that. There you go. Mm. 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 So good. So I've got a choice here. I can talk to you with my mouth full. And my mommy, long since gone, will not be very happy. Or I'm just making room for the next crepe, people. You know that. I wouldn't normally be eating while I talk to you. So, let's get rid of some of that gunge there. And I think, you can have sweet or savory crepes, whatever you like. I'm not going to do a savory one today, because I want to show you an omelette. So, now you will see that I just put a little bit of butter on the spatula before. Look how that's lifting. Beautiful. The trick is make sure you've gone all the way around before you try to flip it. Are you ready? Here we go. Jody, how do you like the color of that one? So, oh, look at that. An edible bit. I got some fresh strawberries yesterday from the farm store. And just to let you know, when I get fresh strawberries, raspberries rather, or strawberries, I put them in a mason jar with some paper towel at the top. Let me show you. Okay, so there's a piece of paper towel at the top. And, the raspberries will last a lot longer. I'm so looking forward to trying this. I've never done this before, what I'm about to do. So have patience with me here, because I do know that you like to see me not do perfect things. So I'm going to put the raspberries there. Doesn't that look good? Okay. And then we'll put those back in there and leave it turned upside down so the liquid goes to the paper towel. This is the fun bit. Okay. A little bit of whipped cream. Don't tell my doctor. Now, are we just about ready? Yes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it this way and this way. Oh. And now what I've got, I didn't quite do that right, people. This way and this way. There we go. And now, how many of you want to see me cut into this one? Okay, here we go. Oh gosh, I think I, oh, look at that. Oh, so good. Jody says, it looks like what you get at a street fair. That's exactly why I wanted to show you that if you are somebody, you know, that does charity stuff or anything, hang on. Okay, so we have all experienced omelette making. Any comments, any questions? I'm just going to clean that off. Literally cleaning it off with a damp cloth. That's all. Because now what we're going to do is make a quick omelette. Now, one thing I want to let you know is you can never get an omelette right. Okay. I want to tell you, watch this and just watch it and see what you think, Sam. Okay. All I do to make an omelette with this is I crack 2 eggs. Let me make some room here. Now, I don't know if any of you are old enough to watch Audrey Hepburn and Sabrina, but one thing that always impressed me with that movie was how she managed to crack an egg and do it with one hand. So, yeah. Yes, I did it. And if you've never done it, what I did is I bought a dozen eggs with the purpose of actually learning how to do that. And it actually was a lot easier than I thought. You literally crack it and then you just pull it up with this part. You know, you sort of rock it back and it will open it up. You've got to try it. It's great fun if you haven't done it. Okay, so we've got 2 eggs. What do we need? A little bit of pepper. Very easy. Let's put some butter on there. Remember, not too much, just enough to do the job. And a little bit of salt. I don't normally have salt, but you know, just for the purposes of what we're doing here. There we go. A little bit of Himalayan salt. And now, going to make a noise again. Now, some people add a little bit of milk. That's up to you whether you want to do that or not. So, the trick about omelettes is not to overcook them. I learned that from Benji, funny enough. Not funny enough at all, but there we go. And I guess if it will work with crepes, it'll also work with omelettes, right? I can do this. Good enough. All right, so what I thought I'd do is make it nice and easy, and we'll make a cheese and onion one. By the way, these are spring onions that are continuing to cook in a glass all week or longer, just like that. And just so whenever I cut it, it's going to be absolutely fresh. Okay. And then, was it Sam had a problem? Sam, the biggest problem people have with omelets is they overcook them. And I want to show you. So all I do is I then put 2 pieces of cheese like that on, just want to put it away, on the omelet. And Sam, think about this. If the omelet is hot enough that the cheese is melting, that is what I'm looking for. So the cheese is beginning to melt now, which is good, but I'm going to wait for it to really melt quite a bit more. And then I know that it's hot enough on this top surface. Does that make sense, Sam? Can you see this, everybody? Ooh. So you see the cheese actually is moving. So that's done. So now then, the trick is to just literally take your omelet. I can do this. And let that last bit cook on its own, Sam. And you will find, if you do that, just the heat, you can see the cheese is, running out of it now. And what you will find is if you cook it like that, you've got a perfect omelet that is cooked, but it's light. It's not. It's hot, but really good. All right, now Sam's saying you make it look so easy. Well, I got news for you. Look how I did it. So I'm going to turn this off now. The question that I had was, if I think about it, there are an awful lot of gizmos I bought in my time that were useful, but, didn't use them very much. I use this almost every day. If I want to quickly fry some vegetables, I'll do it on here. So easy to clean. Yep, absolutely. All right, and rats. I meant to check for you how much it is. Hang on a second, because it wasn't that expensive either. So what I will do is I will put up a link in the comments below so that when I edit this later on today, I will put the link in for you so you can see it. It might already be in my link below here, which says Sal's Kitchen Stuff. I might already have it in there. So you just had the same thing. Isn't that wonderful? Well, I hope it's as tasty as mine is. So, any other questions before I move on? So, Sam, do you understand the reason most people's omelets are not good is because they overcook them? breakfast. I don't normally get that luxury on a Friday. And you know, I've got a raspberry crepe to finish later. So, yeah, so Sam, do you understand that? Cook the bottom, put your cheese on top. And when the cheese on top is melting, you know, more than 50% of it is melting, you know that the heat has got all the way through. And therefore, it's safe to turn it into an omelette. And then the residual heat that's left in the omelette will cook the little bit that's left. Makes sense? Now, as you know, I'm probably going to get indigestion now. As you know, I don't consider myself to be a great cook. Now, are you? What are you talking about, Nyasha? The omelette or the crepes? I just want to make sure. And Nyasha's asking, did you add flour or just milk? For the crepes, I had flour. For the omelette, which I just made, no flour. No milk either. All right, so let's go on. Let me just get some stuff here. It's nice and warm where I'm standing. So again, thanks to Pat for my DearMamaSal apron. I thought that was so kind of her. Is it morning now? Yes, it is. Well, no, it's afternoon. It's 12:29 in the afternoon. Oh, new house kitchen. Okay. Thank you, Jody. All right, so I don't know if you guys like seeing these sort of things. As you know, I'm not interested in doing what I call a perfect video. I like to do cooking for regular people, right? And this is, and as you know, because I'm prepared to do it live, anything can happen. For example, you guys will really laugh. I had it all set up with my my cell phone, and it was all beautifully set up. And then I went, how do I get to turn it on in YouTube from my cell phone? You know, and I couldn't find it. I went, okay, I'm going to have to get my laptop. So life is very interesting. So if you would like more sort of stuff like this, just let me know. I just thought I would let you know. You remember last week we did roll-ups. It feels like I'm actually cooking for you. Well, that's how I wanted it to. I just wanted to tell you it wasn't a one-day wonder. I made more roll-ups yesterday, fruit roll-ups. Shall I have dessert now, people? Will you be happy with it? And I definitely recommend drying it on a silicone mat. Definitely is the best way. Okay, it's a pleasure. This was the fruit that I had left over at the end of the week because I brought fresh fruit into the house. I literally put all the fruit into the blender and then put it on a silicone mat and made fruit roll-ups. So if you didn't see last week's video, please check that out. I better not be sharing this because I've touched them, haven't I? But it's so tasty. And I probably mentioned this last week, but the fruit roll-up actually ends up being much more intense. You know, it's got the lemon juice in it, and so it's a really beautiful, intense flavor. Right, where was I? Let me get back to doing a broadcast here. Tomorrow, we know it's the 4th of July tomorrow, but so happy 4th of July for everybody. And I hope that you're going to stay safe. I hope that you're going to wear a mask if you are going to go out, and I hope you're going to be really careful. It's also Bernice's birthday tomorrow, and on a sad note, it would have been, it actually is Aaron's daddy's birthday, but as you know, he passed. So he's going to have his birthday in heaven this year. So those are our birthdays. For those of you who are watching for the first time, DearMamaSal is a group of people who get together. We're like an extended family, and we get together 3 times a week, lunchtime, Pacific time. We do a skills broadcast, like today it was crepes and omelettes. And then again on Friday evening where we laugh a bit. And then on Sundays, we do our Soul Sunday. And how many of you like doing the Soul Sunday? I just want to say that for me, the Soul Sunday is one of my favorite ones. I just love the feeling I get after I finish doing the Soul Sunday broadcast. Something says I need to put this back in the fridge. Anything else? The raspberries. I'll be right back. Oh no. It had to happen, people. Apparently, I did not put the lid on the raspberries very well. And so now I've got raspberries all over my floor. That looks better. And how many of you going, that's more like Sal? Yeah. So I will now do the Canadian floor washing system, which is you throw the through the face cloth. By the way, I don't use paper towels a whole lot because I use face cloths instead. Now, obviously, I've used that on the floor, so that's going to go to the wash. So I don't get tempted to use it again. And out comes another face cloth, just in case. Oh, missed a bit. All right, so for those of you who are new, as I was saying, we all go through good times and bad times. And on the good side, did you notice, guys, that today Jeannie's moving into her new apartment? And that is really great to hear, and it looks wonderful. So she and York will be able to settle down. For those of you who are watching for the first time or don't know what happened to Jeannie and York, their house burned down. And so now they're in the process of starting all over again. And they're going to be moving into an apartment for a year while they rebuild their house. Yash was saying, I never knew that's how fruit roll-ups were made. I watched the video and it was like, wow, I actually had fruit mixtures and thought they were trash because I only needed the juice. Now I've learned something new. That's why we try and do that. Yeah, Jody's saying, Soul Sunday sets the tone for my week ahead. It puts me in the right frame of mind and I look forward to it every week. Yeah. Yes, you know something, Jody, there's something I find that when I do it, I feel differently when I finish, I must admit. So I'm glad that it's the same. And for those of you who don't know, we put all the Soul Sunday broadcasts together in one playlist. So if ever you're having a problem sleeping, just turn that playlist on and, you know, my voice will just lull you to sleep. Yeah. I am thinking about doing a meditation one day. And if I did that, it would mean that I would need to turn off the comments. So my question would be, would you like me to do it live or would you like me to do a meditation recorded? So that, and, you know, and I say that because, you know, sometimes something like that, I just cannot afford to be distracted when I'm doing it, because if I don't give it 110%, it won't have the impact that it needs to have. So let me know if you'd like me to do a couple of meditations for you. The other thing I wanted to mention, and Jody, perhaps you can remind me or remind the viewers, or remind me to remind the viewers every week. I don't know if you know, but one of the things I do is I help people prepare to do interviews. And I quite recently, yet another one of my people got into the UBC here in Canada, in British Columbia, the UBC Med program. And for me, it's really important that people understand that having the right qualifications is not enough to get you hired these days. It is how well do you interview. And what I do is not about the technical side. What I do is help people gain confidence with strange questions and what to do if you haven't the foggiest idea what the answer is to that or whatever. So I just thought I would mention that I do it in case you know anybody that is, about to go for an interview. And as you can imagine, nowadays it's going to be even more important because there are going to be so many more people looking for each job now because so many people are unemployed. The whole trick about DearMamaSal, I believe, is that we are week by week helping people cope with whatever's going on in their lives. So my first question to you is that if you have a subject about which you'd like me to speak because you're struggling with it, please make sure you let me know at dearmamasal@gmail.com. And if I like the subject matter and I think it will help my people, then I obviously will add it to our list. Remember to follow us on all the usual social media, with the exception of Instagram. The Instagram is the real DearMamaSal, not just DearMamaSal. I was late getting that tied up. And by the time I didn't think I was going to use Instagram. And by the time I did, somebody had taken my name, which was a bit unfortunate for me, but it happened. All right. So remember to subscribe, click the bell, and when they say, do you want all the notifications? We recommend that you say yes, because if I do an extra broadcast, then you'll be advised of it. Okay, so Amel's saying next week her exams will start. Now, Amel, may I talk about your experience? I just want to get your permission before I do. Andrea, how nice to see you. And how's Victoria? And wait, little boy, Michael. And your husband's name, I can't remember, I'm sorry. Yeah, big hug back to you as well. How nice to see you. Danke. That brings tears to my eyes. For those of you who don't know, Andrea is a very long time viewer. We don't get to see her very much, but she was one of those people that was there very early on in my DearMamaSal time. And she got married, last year? Must be nearly a year now. Yeah. All right, so give us any updates you'd like me to share with the people, honey, from Berlin. And how's lockdown in Berlin? How's it going? Right, so I'm going to run through our usual topics just because I've got some points that I wanted to make. And feel free. Andrea's saying, we don't hear much from her because my broadcasting times often don't match with my time. I totally understand that, honey. But, I know you're always there. You know what I mean? I can, when I say I know you're always there, you will always be part of my heart. You know that. Don't make me cry while I'm recording. It's very unfortunate. All right, under this topic of be prepared, not scared. Some of you know that my whole idea is to make sure that you guys are properly prepared for what is going to happen the next steps, if you like, of the pandemic. So here's what I want you to think about. You guys are pretty smart. So tell me, who do you think is paying for all the ventilators, for all the hospital costs and that sort of stuff? Who do you think is paying for that? Let's get some feedback. And, if you suddenly get rushed to ICU to be put on a ventilator, I don't know what it is in the States, but I'm pretty sure that some of you think, oh, well, that's okay, it'll be covered by my policy, but be very careful, because the word outbreak is covered in a lot of policies, but that does not mean pandemic. If there's an outbreak and people think, oh, an outbreak's a pandemic. No, it's not. It's a different thing. So please be aware of what your insurance policy covers or does not cover. Now, I don't want to scare the living daylights out of you, but part of what I want you to think about is these hospitals that are paying overtime, they are, putting vast amounts of money into patient care. I'm pretty sure that the government is paying some of it. That would be my guess, or the state, in the case of the states, is paying some of it. But I also think that hospitals are going to start going under if it carries on too long. The other thing is, imagine what's going to happen to insurance rates. Because, insurance business is not in the business of giving out money, it's in the business of making money. Therefore, if it's had to pay out a great deal of money because of the pandemic, what's going to happen? The rates are going to go up. Just want to make sure that you guys are prepared. So the other thing is, how many insurance companies will go under? I don't know. Oh, that's so cute. Andrea's saying, you also have a big part of my heart. And by the way, the names of my kids are Vivian and Michael. Oh, I said Victoria. And of course, baby Lily. Yes, I clean forgot about baby Lily. Vivian had birthday. No, she cannot possibly be 16. No. You got somebody else's kid. Vivian cannot be 16. The last time I saw her, she was 5. Or 7 or 8 or something like that. She cannot possibly be 16. Lily will be 2. Wow. Isn't that wonderful? Andrea's saying we're doing great with the lockdown. We are growing stronger together. I love that. We're growing stronger together. That's how it should be, right? All right, so one of the things I want to start doing, and I know that it sounds really strange for some of you, but under Be Prepared, Not Scared, Jody made the suggestion, and for those of you who don't know, Jody is our admin, and Jody made the suggestion that we start now stocking up our pantries and our medicine cabinets ready for the fall and Christmas. So she suggested that we have a look at, how much Mucinex do you have? How much Tylenol? Do you have cold meds? Make sure you check the expiry dates, and things like that. Anything else that you can think of, people, mention them so that we can share them with the viewers that might watch it on the replay. And also she suggested, starting now, because we're already in June, maybe start adding a couple of things ready for the Christmas baking to your list. So when it gets to the Christmas baking, you already have everything on hand. So if you guys want to tell me what sort of things, I would think brown sugar, I've got enough flour to probably bake forever, but flour, brown sugar, what else? Cinnamon, nutmeg, maybe candied fruit if you use it in your baking. The other thing Jody suggested, it's a good time to be thinking about maybe, getting some stamps if you don't want to go to the post office regularly, make one trip while it's still quiet and get your stamps ready for Christmas, and also pick up Christmas cards as soon as you can. I know that Beth was telling us last week that she works at Dollar General, and she was saying they are already putting out Halloween stuff, if you can believe it. It's June, for goodness sake. All right, now then, in terms of Black Lives Matter, have any of you done anything to learn more about Black Lives Matter? Yes, Jody. Jody is saying vanilla can be costly. Jody, I was wondering whether we should do, you might just take a note for me if you're not too sore. I was wondering whether we should do how to make your own vanilla essence. Would anybody be interested in that? Yes, raisins if you're making Christmas cake. Thank you, Nyasha. That's kind of you to add that. Sam is adding, if you happen to be asthmatic, don't forget to make sure you've got enough inhalers. Yeah, make sure you've got enough, as I said, painkillers, Advil, Tylenol, anything like that. Hi, Sharon. Okay, so a couple of you would like me to make your own vanilla essence. I believe the longer you leave it, the better it is, but we could do it, a quick version, right? And you want cookies for Christmas. And aniseed. Oh, that's nice. Oh, cocoa for Christmas, yes. And also aniseed. Yeah. So that sounds wonderful. How many of you going, I can see Christmas cookies being on the list of things we're going to do. All right, I just want to get back to this Black Lives Matter thing. Have any of you learned anything about Black Lives Matter this week that you didn't know last week? Because, one of the things that I'm encouraging you all to do is to speak to somebody of color, if you're not one, and get their input on what is happening. You remember I was horrified and almost in tears when I spoke to Doug about this. When I heard some of his experiences, and I really do ask you all to keep seeking out people and get their knowledge, to ask them to let you know. Also to let you know their experience with police. Now, I live in Canada, and I have a real problem because I spent 17 years in South Africa. And that made it that, it's a bit of a police state over there, or it was when I was there. And so I was very fearful of the police, and I have so many stories about what happened to me when I came to Canada, and I was terrified of the police. And of course, they in turn were very suspicious of me because I was so terrified of police. But, it is what it is. Okay, so now then, scare of the week, I think would have to be the pain that Jody went into. Jody, I'm hoping that you are a little bit better today. I know that it sounded like you were a little bit better last night, but I really do hope that you're out of pain. And we thank you for being here anyway, because I know it's been really difficult. And I know that probably stopping the production of your masks would have been difficult for you. But it's worth it, all right? Get healthy again first. That's what you would tell me. All right, so Niash is saying, Jody, I actually was thinking of stocking up. Also, grocery shelves are stacked back up. No panic buying now, so I'm going to slowly purchase additional essentials. Yes. So we have... we will keep doing that. If anybody would like me to go through that reminder again next week, I will. Just, think about, I, for the first time in my life, have 2 or 3, probably months worth of food in the house now, if I really needed to make that plan. And any minute now, my big freezer will arrive. So, that's another whole experiment for me. All right, so some tips of the week that I wanted to share. Have any of you got a room that is overwhelming? Or a part of a room that is overwhelming? Because one of the things that I really recommend you do is each month, say to yourself, every day I'm going to spend 10 minutes on that. All right. For Jody, it's the spare bedroom. Okay. So if I may, Jody, let me talk about that. So is it everything in the spare bedroom that's an overwhelm, or is it just part of it? You see, what you need to do is make sure you understand the problem. And what I would recommend is to not put your whiteboard in water and to know what did you do with the eraser. There it is. Okay, so let's take that off. All right, Jody, so here's what I recommend. I'm going to show you what I did with my craft room. As you know, I'm very nearly finished in the craft room. And do you remember the boxes were this high, and I would say 10 by 10. Yeah, I would say 10 cubic feet of boxes is what I had there. All right, so let's say this is your room. That's your spare room, Jody. Don't try and clean it, right? That's instant insanity as far as I'm concerned. What have you got in the room? A bed, maybe? Sounds like a spare bedroom. What is in the spare bedroom? I'm not going to put them in the right places, but I just want to get the bits in there. Totes. Okay, so we'll put some totes in there. Okay. Yeah. You got totes that belong to relatives. Some of our holiday decorations. Okay. Yeah, what else? Any furniture in there? Old bed frame and a Christmas tree. I'm going to do Xmas tree. So if Lauren is around, I mean no disrespect. Okay, so you understand. Oh, a dresser. That's good. Nightstand. All right, so here's the challenge. I would take one thing, like the nightstand, and say, in the month of July, I am going to empty, clean, and refill the nightstand. Do you think you could do that over the course of a month? That is the goal. Not to try and do the whole thing, right? Just to do the nightstand. Now, if you end up doing the nightstand and something else, that's fine. But at the end of July, I want you to be able to say, Sal, and by the way, Jody, let's put it on our follow-up list on one of the slides on the master plan, all right, which is Jody's achievement or something. Just put a note for me to put that in there so I can check back with you. Did you clean out the nightstand? And what, if you think about it, Jody, it has taken me 5 months to get through 80% of the boxes that were in my craft room. Now, I realized that some of the boxes, I'm going to leave the boxes. For example, I got one box that's marked glitter. We all know what will happen if I unpack that. I've got one box that is candle and soap making. I'm going, why would I even unpack it? Why don't I just leave it in a box called, so whenever I want candles or soap making, I pull out the box. Right, so Jody's remembering something that we talk about a lot. Jody's saying, it's been overwhelming, so I ignored it. Not an example of what can I do, right? But I will change that, right? So what can you do? what you can do is ignore everything except the nightstand. And your goal is by the end of July to have done the nightstand. You see, if you've done that, you'll be a step closer. And then maybe, what are you going to do with that Christmas tree? You can start thinking about that. Because the Christmas tree probably is a problem for most of the year. And so it needs to have a better place, one that isn't a mess. If you haven't got a storage place where you can put it, think about where can you create a place for that Christmas tree to live for 11 months of the year, or 10 months of the year in your case. All right, and start thinking. You don't have to do it, just start thinking. Talk to Lionel, see what ideas he comes up with. By the way, let's ask the viewers, what do you all do with your Christmas trees if they're not real ones? Where do you store them? Yes, Jodie's saying the Christmas tree can probably stay there once the room is cleared out. The thing I'm saying to you is, no, probably. All right? Know where it's going to live. When you go to the washroom and you're sitting there think about, where am I going to put that Christmas tree? Does it go under the bed? And you're going, well, the bed's not high enough. What if you raised the bed? How much stuff could you store under the bed if you lifted the bed on some bricks? That's what I call the African way, all right? They lift their beds up. Why? Makes a lot of storage under the bed. All right, so Sam's saying her Christmas tree lives in the back of a wardrobe. That is very clever. That is very clever. Or on the floor of a wardrobe. You can actually make a box that it lives in. Now, I'm thinking Nyasha would make it out of cardboard because she's very talented at that. There really isn't another practical place for it. I understand that. It needs to be in that room. But what I'm thinking about is it needs a place where it's not going to be in the way for 10 months of the year. So, it doesn't have to stand upright. It could lie down. All right. And it could lie down. I'm trying to think. I think mine are in my storage shed, but I'm lucky enough to have a storage shed. All right, so Sam's saying the reason she likes to have it in the closet is because you can't see it. All right, it's in the corner of the closet, so you can't see it. The clothes cover it. That's really clever. I'd never have thought of that. That's very clever. You see, that's what I love about doing Dear Mama Sal. People come in with such great ideas. So let me find out who else is here. Anybody else got something they want to start working on for July? Yeah, and Jody, if it's in that closet and you close the door, you're not going to see it every time you walk in there. All right? The other thing is, hi, Bernice, and happy birthday for tomorrow. The other thing is, Jody, I really recommend keeping the boxes that are coming into your house. And when I say keeping the boxes, you all know that I keep my boxes and I definitely use boxes, right? Because you can have a whole lot of clutter or you can have one box. Bernice learned that lesson. She is busy completely redoing her apartment, and she and her husband are both hoarders of stuff, right? They have so much stuff. But what she's learned is if I can get it into a box, it looks way tidier. And so, whether you put on your shopping wish list, Jody, that you start every month buying one more tote, all right? And so that you have a wall of totes if necessary. Right, so Sam's saying, I use a lot of plastic storage boxes under beds. Yes, very good idea. I can't because I've got a mechanical bed, one of those ones where it goes up and down. So I've got very little space under my bed. And my other bed is up against a wall at the moment because, I'm unpacking and I need that room. So But good ideas. I love it. So I would recommend, getting storage boxes that match, or if I do, as you know, I do a lot of my stuff with banker boxes. All right, so Andrea is saying I have to. You don't have to. She's saying I have to organize my crafting stuff. No, you may choose to. You may choose to. Andrea, don't say you have to. Right? That's putting a whole lot of stress. I don't believe in that. It's something you may choose to. You're more likely to do it if you choose to do it than if you have to do it, right? You want to do it with love, not with anger or oh, I have to do this, or else. No, it's about get the joy of achievement. So I am about to walk with my computer. What do I need to do? I need to unplug that. I won't need my... Yeah, crafting stuff definitely takes over. Okay, wish me luck, guys. I'm gonna take a little walk here. And just first of all, want to turn on a light. Now, this is still a work in progress. I've got a lot still to do, but I want to show you what I have done. Now, first of all, I have got... That is so useful, all right, for crafting stuff. Then what I've got here is, I collect boxes, but I paint them all gray. These ones haven't been painted yet, these ones up here. And then I just put, little labels on them so I know what's in them. Now I'm getting, hang on, I don't want to make you sick here, but I'm getting to the stage where you can actually see I'm beginning to get a craft table organized now. And then here, I'm going to have my silhouette, and then I'm going to be sorting all this lot out soon. That's getting there. And yet, if I sit at this desk here, I've got the printer here, the silhouette machine there, but now what I've also got is more cubies here. And then I've got a lot of messy stuff, but what I did is I picked up some cheap baskets, that I could throw junky stuff in. So can you see that now you do know that there's still stuff on the floor, right? But the other thing, for those of you who are artistic, I did pick up this thing in Wish, and I think I showed you last week. But that's actually holding more paint than I expected it to. And I'm going to keep week by week thinking, what else can I do? Now, these are boxes here that have got what I call category stuff in it. And what I'm going to do, I wonder if I can do this. What I'm going to do here is actually just put them all at one level, so about here, and put a top on it and cover it. So can you see, if you remember, let's see if you remember, when I moved in here, the boxes were as high as the top of the picture of my mom. That's how high the boxes were. And they took up all the space that you can see, and round about, I would say, okay, another level of boxes in here. So that was definitely a lot of boxes. And by the way, the desk wasn't here. This was all boxes. So, it's taken 5 months. But So Jody, what I found is important, and I want to just say this to any of you. What I found is important is I sit in that craft room every now and then, and I say, what's the next thing I would like? Right? And I go, I would like to be able to use, for example, my silhouette machine. And then I go, hang on, I'm just plugging everything back in. And then I will say to myself, okay, do I have all the leads to connect it, right? And then, okay, Bernice, have a happy birthday tomorrow, honey. And so bit by bit, Jody, I'm working on improving that room. And I don't worry too much about any other room because the room I'm working on is the craft room. Does that make sense? So something else, I'm not naturally a tidy person, as some of you know, but do you understand that I am literally going, what causes the mess? And that's what I think about when I go to the washroom. What is now messy in the craft room? And how can I contain it? That's what I ask myself. So, and if I say, well, I'd like a nicer way to store my paint, for example, then I go, okay, what is there available that I can use? In other words, I've kept all my boxes from moving. Can I put them all into a box for now and mark the box? So that banker boxes I like because they got handles on them, they're not too heavy, and they work for me. Now, I'm thinking quite seriously about painting my banker boxes white. That's one of the things I'm now thinking about doing, just so that they will brighten up in that room. I don't like the fact that they're dark now. And I don't think they're going to be moving a whole lot. So therefore, or I might paint them gray. Because that's what, if you throw all your leftover paint into one can, it becomes gray. So, and my house has a lot of gray in it. So I might make it gray and white. Make sense? So here's the trick, Jody. Think little things, not big things, all right? So if I said to you, and I will do what I can, if you would like me to check in with you every now and then and see how is the nightstand doing? In other words, have you even started? And it's not that you have to finish it in a day. It's like, did you spend 10 minutes in there? And you will be amazed. It's like anything else. It's like exercise or anything else. So if anybody else has got something that they would like to start working on, let's make a note. Andrea's trying to work on her craft area. Andrea, tell me, what is it about your craft area that you would like to change? That would be a really important question. And, what is it that makes it look untidy? And that is the trick that I found. And I haven't been, rushing to empty things. I've been doing it. Okay, what's the next thing I need to think about? More organization, so you find your things more easily. Okay, so did it help at all seeing what I've done? Now, one of the tricks that I learned, Andrea, and I don't know what the situation is in Germany, but I lucked across those red cubies in a dollar store one day. And I went, red ones, I need red ones. And I bought 4 of them. If you like cubies, then I would be prepared to wait 2 months and order them from Wish and get twice as many. Yeah, you look for some cute boxes. I find that cute boxes are a good idea, but I also would recommend getting a container that you can put the cute boxes in. You know what I mean? It's like, now the other thing is, oh, you mean did you like the idea that I have where I've put things into little boxes with labels on them? Because, you know, those are all boxes that I had food in. You know, they had crackers in them, or they had, you know, fruit bars or something in them. And I just painted them, or they had oatmeal in them or whatever. And so what I did was, if I just paint them, yeah. And you'll be amazed some of the things that I've managed to put into those little boxes. The other thing is I am thinking about possibly moving them, but and so that I can keep the craft room all with cubies rather than bookcases. But I'm not quite sure yet. I'm still working on that. No rush. All right, so Nyasha, all the best. I hope you feel better, honey. All right, so did any of you achieve anything this week? You know, it's part of our weekly questioning now, which is, what did you achieve this week? And while you're typing that, I want to let you know that I spent a bit of time learning some new skills on my editing program. And that's been quite fun. You will start seeing that I've put together a new, you know, intro to the videos. And, you know, you'd be amazed how much time that takes. But, you know, it's a work in progress. So if you see it and like it or don't like it, you know, feel free to leave a comment. The other thing is, some of you know that I've been struggling with swollen feet. And I decided once and for all, I am going to get control of this. And I'm just taking my shoes off here. One of the things that I found is I found these shoes with a mesh top. I don't know what they're called, but, you know, they are, let me try and get some light on there. Oops, there we go. I'm not sure what that mesh is called, but it's like a breathable fabric. And they are sort of what they call slipper socks, right? They're sort of soft here. But what I did is I turned them into slip-ons. And what I found is, because this contains my foot so well and has so much support and cushioning underneath, it is using a whole lot of different muscles, and I don't know whether it's the reason, but my edema this week has gone. So that's an achievement for me. And so I'm hoping as well that with the swelling gone, that the weight will also drop again. Right, Sam is telling me I cleaned out my little grandson's room for his return after the lockdown. I took a lot of toys to the charity shop. What a nice thing to do. Yes. And that is one of the things that I plan to try and do. Listen to that word. Once I've got through the basic unpacking, Sam, is I want to learn how to sell stuff online. All right. And that's what, you know, I've got some pretty nice stuff that is boxed up, some antique silver and things like that. And I'm never going to use that again. So the trick will be to get it out, clean it, take nice pictures of it, and then start selling stuff online. Why not, right? It's better that than sitting in a box, right? My next category is, did any of you overcome any procrastination this week? Is there something that you've been procrastinating about that you managed to do something this week? I'm trying to think. I went walking this week. I've been procrastinating about that, so that's a new one that I've overcome. I still haven't invested the next bit of money. You remember, I'm trying to just start investing some of the money that I've got. And I definitely feel that I've stopped procrastinating with the unpacking. I think for a while there, I got really fed up because all I seemed to do was to unpack. And I took about a week off and but now I'm back into doing it again. Jody's saying you've done consistently great work in reversing the edema. So yeah, I want to tell you, I tried a lot of things, right? I changed my diet. I literally have been sleeping with my feet up at this sort of angle. I've been trying to make sure that I drink more water because even though it's water retention, I know that the way to get rid of it is to drink more water. And so, it's just like I've done everything that I can. But that's me. What are you procrastinating about? And what do you want to change in your life? And what support can we give you? That's the question. Now, while you guys are typing that, this one is a bit embarrassing for me. I wonder how many unanswered emails you have. Do you know? Now, some of you are going, no, I've answered all mine. Be prepared to be shocked. I found I've got over 15,000 unanswered emails, most of which are junk mail, obviously. But it's like it's crawled up to 15,000. Can you believe it? So what I do now is once a month, I pick one category. For example, if I know that, Michael's is sending me, a lot of flyer stuff. What I do is I will take Michael's and I'll search for all the Michael's things and I will systematically get rid of all the thing and I will unsubscribe because I don't want to keep getting them. You know what I mean? It's just like, when I look at it, how many times did I go to Michael's in the last 3 years? None. So therefore, I don't need to have the Michael's flyer. If I really want to know what Michael's have got on special, I'll look. Do you get my drift? So let's do that. So how many of you agree with me that let's do it once a month? Get rid of one lot of subscriptions. Now, I have to thank Lauren for that because Lauren was trying to save money. And the first thing she did was to get rid of the subscriptions that made her spend money. And I thought that was really proactive and it's so intelligent. If you don't see the flyers, you're not going to get tempted. Make sense? Yeah, I totally agree as well. So I thought I would share that and all kudos to Lauren on that one. Yeah, you see, that's the whole thing. We can do this together, people. You're not alone, right? We're all doing the same thing. So let's do it. And once a month. Okay, so Jody, could you, I'm sorry to ask you because I know you're in pain, but could you just remind me, if you would, to put that into the monthly follow-ups? Because I think if I remind you all monthly, then we're more likely to do it. What do you think? So just in your mind, as we're talking about it, which one store is sending you junk mail that you know that you don't need at all, in which case you can unsubscribe, or which one do you want to get rid of all their emails? And by the way, I don't think it's gone forever, necessarily, right? You just need to get it off your email list. So the other thing that I did this week was to realize that I have so much information that I've put onto different broadcasts. And I realized that, I really want to start taking some of that information and making small videos out of those bits of information. There's sometimes that we do, a whole session on quotes, and there are a couple of them that are so good. And what I'm going to start doing is just do the short ones of those we're talking about making crepes. Now, yesterday, I actually made the video of doing the crepes, but because I needed the picture for the thumbnail for today. How many of you can see that? It was like, duh, I've got to cook them to get the picture. So, I had crepes 2 days in a row. The things I do for you guys, really. But now what I realized was I can now have the plain crepe, which I've already recorded anyway, but now we did the raspberry one. So I can add that one as a separate one. And then we've also got the omelettes. You see, by doing it live, I've already got that footage. So I'm going to start putting those into smaller ones so that they're easier to watch if that's what you're interested in. That's what I'm going to do. A lot more work. But I think, it's all the time I'm trying to do things that work better for people. And I know not everybody has 2 hours to watch a replay, but some of you come for 2 hours. And that amazes me. And I'm so thankful that you do, that you are prepared to just stop for 2 hours of your life and just join in. So my question is, why? Why do you do it? And some of you do it 3 times a week. And the question is, why? Because I'm certain other people will want to know, why would you do that? That's a lot of time. So what is it that you gain and that you would like other people to know? What is it that you gain from spending a little bit of time with DearMamaSal? That would be good to know. And now I've got to wait for the answers. All right, while you're doing that, let me just move on here. Oh, Sam's saying, I'd love to be here 3 times a week, but the time difference gets in the way. Yes, I understand that. All right, Sandy's saying, I enjoy the content and I like interacting live. Yeah. How many of you would like to do another live broadcast, be it one way we get to see everybody? Because we'll put one on the list if that's what you would like. Sam's saying your voice is one that's so soothing I could listen for hours. I always remember that when I used to be on stage, people said, I could listen to her talk about anything for a day. Yeah, she could be talking about peeling oranges. And I used to go, isn't that amazing? But what I found out, because I asked more questions, right? What I found out was that it wasn't just the fact that I could talk about, because me, I could talk about peeling oranges for a day. It wasn't just that I talked about peeling oranges for a day. It was the fact that I probably was going to make a boo-boo peeling oranges for the day, right? And that would be funny. And then they would see how I cope with disasters, And what I found out was that it wasn't just the voice. What I found out was it was a myriad of different things that was the total experience for them. It was the fact that, you never know what's going to happen. I assure you that there was part of me that went, cooking live for me is a very dangerous thing to do. Right? But I think that could be part of the amusement of it, right? Because you guys know it's unlikely to be perfect. Now, the fact I got 2 crepes and an omelette off that so beautifully, was my achievement of the week. All right, so Jody says it's a handbook on how to navigate life, fellowship, community, sharing our lives. Dear Mama Sal has changed my life in so many ways, and I am forever grateful to Sal and our extended family. Yeah, I think that. Okay, Andrea's got to go. Wiedersehen. Wiedersehen. Bye, Vivian. Bye, Michael. Bye, Lily. And bye, husband, whose name I can't remember. Oh, happy birthday. I wish I knew what that was in German. Never mind. I don't think I even know what that is in French. I'll have to find that out. So, but good to see you, Andrea. Come back again, please. And thank you for making my day. You know you did, right? I know you think it was about you, but it was actually made my day. Sam saying you are full of information, very useful information, and I love that it's live. You have a unique voice. I would put your voice in the same category as, say, Jeremy Irons or Richard Burton. Really? That's very strong company to keep. Ooh. So, Sam, if my voice has that much impact for you, zum Guttenstag, Guberstag, Stag, tag, Guberstag. Thank you very much, Jody. Very talented. So I would ask you, Sam, what would you like to hear the voice tell you, do, whatever? You know, there's no doubt in my mind that I'm a storyteller, you know, that I know. So to me, it's like, do you find, hi, Beth, good to see you. Do you find that the cooking is, all right, did you find the live cooking interesting? because of its possible failure rate, or, you know, I'd like to know what it is about doing it live that you like, just so that I understand that. I must admit that it's, you know, it requires a lot of preparation to do it live. You know, I literally, if you could see it, I got lists all over here. I need raspberries and I need cream and I need eggs and cheese slices and green onion. And for the crepes, I'm going to need flour, sugar, egg, milk, lemon, the spreader, the butter, the spatula. You know, it was just like I got these master lists running down my cupboards here so that I remember. Because doing it live is definitely a whole different thing. And Jody, for some reason, I could not connect my earbuds. So I need to remind myself to connect my earbuds early on a broadcast day. But the good news is they'll be available for tonight. Ah, great. So Sam said for her, it's because it's real and nothing is staged. You are a genuinely wonderful person. Oh, well, yeah, right. To me, I think when it's not pre-recorded, you know, there is an element of risk, and there is no doubt about that. And as long as I can do it with humor, I'm happy because, you know, dropping, you know, raspberry juice all over my floor wasn't the greatest idea, but the good news was I didn't get it on my white pants. I thought I would also try and let you know, I'm going to try a combination of these. I haven't done it yet, and I definitely, it's on my list of things to do. But to do a fruit and vegetable roll up, you know, now that I know that I've mastered the fruit roll up, and now I'm not going to waste fruit anymore, which makes me really happy. But now I'm thinking, what if I do a fruit and vegetable one? Will it be tasty? And if so, that's going to stop me wasting a lot of vegetable as well. So now, the other thing I wanted to mention is, how many of you looked at, I've now got fruit leather stuck in my teeth. How many of you looked at the crepes and thought, oh, they look so good? Because what I wanted to say was that a crepe is actually far less fattening. It has far less stuff in it than you think. The other thing is that I have found that making a combination of flour and almond flour, makes it even better for you. All right, so Sam's saying, I've known about you for years through Benji. And even though I recently joined, I feel like I could tell you anything or ask you anything. Because you really care about your viewers. That shows. That Sam, you're not allowed to make me cry when I broadcast yet. Wait a minute. Kez, which door did you come in through? Now, for those of you who don't know, Kez is a magical viewer who always comes, well, whenever she possibly can, comes to help me when we do December. And so I have a very warm place in my heart for Kez. She's saying, I also have a time difference problem, so I can only get to catch one live most times. But I love to get advice I get from you and the subscribers. And you're making us laugh and feel good. I really care about the subscribers' well-being. Yes, I think people do care about one another. And that's what I wanted, was to have that feeling that we were not alone. I always said to Jody, our admin, the most important thing to me is that the viewers can come and go, but they will always know where to come back to. If life gets in their way, they will always know that, wait a minute, Sal will be broadcasting, Fridays and Sundays. I want to, because we never know when people are going to need us. And that consistency is really important to me. And we've seen it happen, right? We've seen it happen where people, suddenly disappear and then out of nowhere they come back. And we go, wow, they've been gone for quite a while. I'm trying to plug something back in, which is not a good idea. And so to me, you are right, Sam. I really do care about the viewers, probably more than most people realize, and probably more than some people think. They probably think I don't care about them, but I actually care a lot more than a lot of people know. But I also, Sam, I will not enable people. I think you know that as well, all right? So I won't do the work for them, but I will give them all the tools I possibly know to help. And I think that to me is what it's about. So then when they come back and tell me what they've done, I can honestly say to them, you did it. You see, I gave you the information, but you took the information and you used it and you changed your life. I don't want the credit for changing their life, right? I don't need the credit. I just need them to know that they did it. And that to me is much more important. When I look at Jody, how much Jody, 100 and what pounds, even though you've put some back on again recently, you've lost over 100 pounds and you can't exercise. The amount of dedication and hard work and research that you have done to keep your diet at a way that you can lose 100 pounds. How many of you are going, I find that really difficult to believe. All right? So any of you are saying, well, I need to lose 100 pounds, but I don't want to exercise. She's lost 132 pounds. 132 pounds. Do you understand how incredibly gorgeous I would be? More so. I'm trying to think. No, I'd be too thin. So 20 is good. I'm working on the next 20. But first, I need to get back to where I was before I started putting it back on again. And I must admit that the water retention definitely does a number on me. So that's why I'm working on why is it that I keep shooting myself in the foot with the water retention? And, I've got to change whatever's creating that. And that's what I'm working on. But I think I've got the answer. A little bit of exercise, wearing shoes. Now, that's another thing I wanted to say, that if I'm correct in this, which I think I am, that walking around all day long in flip-flops has not done me any good. Hasn't done my ankles any good, hasn't done my back any good, hasn't done my... Do you understand what I'm saying? And especially, with lockdown, I spend a lot of time in bare feet. I don't know if any of you are bare feet people, but I spend a lot of time walking around my house in bare feet. And then I said, something, I'm going to stop doing this. I'm going to start wearing shoes with proper support in the house. But what I've got is these ones with the rubber soles, so they're not making a lot of noise or anything. But I am going to start wearing the support during the day and give myself a chance. I also have found out that I have shortened my Achilles tendons. You all know where they are? I'd put my foot up if I could. But I'm not there yet, people. Okay, let's do this. Right, so here's my, your Achilles tendon is up here. And for some of us, we have issues with our plantar fasciitis stuff, which is here, underneath the foot. And so I am beginning to work at stretching here and stretching here more, because this is causing me a lot of pain. And I think that part of my problem is that I'm just not exercising. And that's why I want to wear different shoes. And I believe that when I get the proper support for my instep, when I get the proper support here, it'll straighten up the way I'm standing, which will help all the muscles up my leg. That's my theory. How many of you understand what I'm talking about here? Sam is saying, a doctor told me walking was the best thing. Yes, and I've now got a walking buddy here in my community, my neighbor next door, who I'd love you to meet. I'm going to try and convince her to come and meet you. And she said the cutest thing to me this week. She looked me absolutely dead in the eyes and said, promise me you won't leave. Ever. I thought that was, I really, the tears came out of my eyes the way that she said it. And I said, but you've got so many friends here. She said, yeah, but then there's you. And the way that she said it just, really touched my soul. So I thought you might want to meet her, like you all met Yvonne early on and so forth. All right, so Sam is saying, I wear flip-flops in the house or barefoot. Yeah, so interesting to hear that I do as well. All right, so Sam, I just want to tell you, I think I've done a mischief to my posture, to my balance, to everything by doing that. And I can definitely feel that my ankles, if this is my foot, I can feel that my ankles have rolled in because I'm not properly supported. Now, on achievement, another thing I wanted to tell you is some of you know I've got a total gym in the house. I definitely should do a broadcast from there, right? And now every night at 8 o'clock, I have a little thing that comes up on my screen and it goes, have you done 50 squats today? And I will lie on my total gym and, okay, what did I do? There we go. the total gem is like this, and then the board, it has a sliding board that goes up. There's a sliding board on it. So what I do is I lie on the board, like my feet there. I lie on the board and I push up and then come all the way down into a squat position. So the good news is I'm stretching my back all the time. And then what I'm also doing is I am reaching up here. As the board goes down, I will then reach up as well. So, and I'm reaching down to the side. So what I'm doing is trying to stretch all those muscles that I have allowed to atrophy. All right, so Sam's saying, when I had sepsis, I ended up with damage on my nerve endings on different parts of my body. So I have swelling of my hands and feet, but a lot of pain too. Now that's Jodi's problem. Jodi totally, as she's saying right now, right? Jodi has total understanding of that. My question is this, for those of you who've got that, is there any way to reverse that? In other words, if you've got neuropathy, is that what it's called? Is there any way to change it? Can you rebuild the nerve endings by exercise or by massage or whatever? Is there? I would really like to know that. Sam, do you have any knowledge of that as well? Or is it once it's damaged for good? Because I have a feeling that to some degree we can maybe not reverse it, but we can halt it by the work that we do. And that's what I'm working on now, is how do I halt it? All right, so Sam's saying, I was told it will always be there, but I can control it. Yeah, so, and also, can you stop it from getting worse? And Jodi said, I think it depends on how the damage occurred and how extensive it is. For me, nothing has helped in 5 years. Okay, so that's, so that's your reality. And yet you do more, Jodi, than a lot of people I know with no nerve problems at all. So you have, as you know, my full admiration for what you do. I know you're going to tell me it's time for the the countdown. Let me just try and find it here. Excuse me. But I definitely would like to do a little bit more research into that. My goal now is to get below my next benchmark. I think you all know that I am striving to get to overweight. I just want to not be obese anymore. But that's what my goal is. And I'm still working on it, and I've still got a way to go. But I just, you will know that I have worked really hard when I can tell you, guys, I am now overweight and look so happy about it, because my whole goal is to get away from being obese. All right, so, and some of you so kindly say, but you don't look obese, Mama Sal. Yeah, I'll tell that to my scale. We have got 9 months and 4 days until Easter. We have got 7 months and 18 days until Lent. Romantics, you have 7 months and 2 weeks until Valentine's Day. And Christmas is just 174 days away. Oh, I wanted to know if any of you would like to see how I paint candles for Christmas. All right. I found that, candle is a really nice thing. If you've got any sort of miney parts, if you have any little bits of creativity in you, making candles is so personal and so easy. And candles you can buy cheaply at the dollar store, and yet you can personalize them. Okay, I will do one broadcast on that. They make super gifts, and you can do them in so many different ways. Yeah, Sharon said we had a blast doing that together. Yeah. Okay, so we'll do that again. And then for those of you who know that Christmas is 174 days away, but you've got to get the cards in the mail in 5 months. That's why we're going to start looking for Christmas cards. How many of you have probably got enough Christmas cards for 5 years in your house right now? I'd be interested to know that. In unpacking, I keep going, oh, look at that, a few more Christmas cards. You laughed more than you painted. Is that right? That's wonderful. That's what I love. So we'll do it again. That was, I love it when we can laugh together. All right, so now, right, so Jody's saying she's probably got 3 years of cards. Yeah, so I am amazed how many cards. I will find that box for you and show you how many cards I've got. And I don't send Christmas cards anymore. Actually, I do, but I send them a different way. US Thanksgiving is 4 months and 3 weeks away. We've got 121 days until the clocks move again. Yeah, wow. I don't know if you heard, I don't know what happened in your neck of the woods, but we went into summer last week and Canada got confused. Really, we went straight into fall, literally long sleeved, wear a cardigan, wear your sweats going outside. It was like, I don't know what happened to the weather. All right, so Sam's saying I always buy ahead for Christmas cards and I box them. Yeah, box file them. Good. And same with birthdays too. Always a good idea to have some birthday cards on hand. I've started making cards from my artwork because to me, I've got so much artwork and I'm turning them into Christmas cards and, why not? Canadian Thanksgiving is just 3 months away. Wow, that's not very far, is it? Now, the good news is, for some of us, for those of you who understand about Mercury being in retrograde, it's going to come out of retrograde on the 12th. So we got a few more days to go, people. Sam's saying, I wish I was talented enough to make cards. Does that sound like you would like me to teach you how to do that? I think it's a great idea to do, if you're going to do them. Okay, we'll add it to the list. All right, so where are we? Well, we're in summer already. I moved, and next week it'll be 6 months. Can you believe that? 5 months and 23 days ago. You'd love to learn how to make cards. Oh, lots of fun. So let's do that. We'll do a crafting type thing. Cold process soap making. Isn't that interesting? So anybody else learning a new hobby ready for Christmas? I find what I do is every year I decide I'm going to make people for Christmas this year. And then I make this one thing for everybody, just about everybody anyway. So, if it's candles, I'll make a whole stack of candles. So I know these are the people that I want to give them something. and I don't want to give them chocolates. I will give them a candle. Why? Because it shows you spent time and effort. Or I will do a handmade card because they know that took effort. And the other thing, do any of you make your own Christmas decorations? I'm trying to remember, I made a really beautiful pair of candles for Benji and Judy that match their decor. But so it's good to do. It's good to do because it's an important. You spend a lot of time. The other thing is, I don't spend money on wrapping paper the way I used to. How many of you are now using more bags rather than wrapping paper? That you go to the dollar store and buy bags and then tissue paper and do it that way. What I'm finding as well is that, I paint boxes. I make the box the work of art. Throw the present in. And hang on one second. Yeah, I also make toilet rolls into wrapping boxes. If I'm making jewelry, I will just make little containers like this out of toilet rolls and put nice, pretty ribbon on them. So anybody want to know how to do that, let me know. And we'll add that too. All right, so Sharon's saying, I buy wrapping paper at the end of the season. I enjoy wrapping with fancy bows. Plus, they're pretty to look at. I actually love making fancy bows. And if I can find the box with my ribbon in it, I'll also show you how I make that now. As I leave you, I thought I'd let you know that I still have most of my raspberry crepe left. And a part of me wants to go and put some more cream on it, but I don't think I will. But so good. So thank you all for being here. And we're going to have some fun tonight. Oh, it really is yummy. And so easy. And quite honestly, what surprised me is that it's not nearly as bad for you as you think it is. And that sometimes the food that we think is really bad for us, it's better actually to make it and enjoy it, because it'll stop you binge eating on something else completely different. So we will see you tonight. Good to see you. Sharon, I haven't said a word about your love life, so I'm hoping everything is good. Send you all hugs. I've now got bits of raspberry in my teeth. You all know that feeling, right? We'll see you tonight at 7 o'clock Pacific. And thank you for being here. And thank you for coming to join me in making crepes. And I want to know whether I can make other things on this. And I will continue to play with it and bring it back every now and then and show you. But I will tell you without a doubt that I use it. It's one of those gizmos that I use a lot. It's not a once in a lifetime type thing. I use it more than then I probably, I just find it easy. It's easy to clean, so I just quickly use it and I wipe it down and it goes back in the cupboard, done. So there we are. Thank you all for being here. We'll see you tonight. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, Jody, please look after yourself more than anything else. And thank you for all that you do for us and all you do to support the various viewers. And we will look forward to laughing with each other later on tonight. This is Dear Mama Sal saying, bye for now, people. Be good at it.